Do you have your Eclipse glasses yet? Today is April 6th, and you are listening to Arbitrage Trade Weekend News. I'm your host, Darin Harper, bringing you 3 things you need to know for the weekend, 2 interviews, which are why financial literacy matters now more than ever, and contractor contracts, read all about it. Also, check out the winner and loser this week in the market. The 10-year is over 4.4, and WTI crude continues up to 86.69. Here's 3 things. If you believe the reports, unemployment fell to 3.8% in March, and 303,000 jobs were added. We will have to see if there are any revisions announced next month. It will also be interesting to see what percent are American-born. The gains are mostly from what is called household employment, which includes housekeepers, maids, babysitters, gardeners, and others who perform household work in or around your private residence as your employee. Wonder why this went up so much. Since last summer, Netflix has been cracking down on password sharing in an effort to gain more revenue. Now Disney is about to start doing the same thing in June. Disney Plus has the rules in place, but they are now going to start making the subscriber pay if they share. The rollout will start in a few countries within select markets. All subscribers will be affected by September. So if you watch Disney Plus, Hulu, or ESPN Plus, watch out. And here are the bigs for next week. Monday, not a whole lot going on, but on Tuesday, New Zealand's interest rate decision happens and their statement. Wednesday, it's U.S. core CPI, crude oil inventories, 10-year auction, FOMC minutes. And then on Thursday, Eurozone deposit facility rate and interest rate decision and the presser, and the U.S. initial jobless claims, U.S. PPI, and the 30-year auction. Friday is the UK's turn to do GDP and the German CPI. Trade while you sleep across time zones with Arbitrage Trade Assist. Sign up today at arbitragetrade.com. Arbitrage Trade is your trusted source for business, finance, and tech info.
There are a lot of words I would use to describe my daughter. Kind, strong, hilarious. When I think about how much she's experienced in her life, on a journey that we're now on together as a family,
I'll make you something to eat, okay?
we can't help but be inspired by her every day.
Hey, Mom, we're about to start the movie.
Oh, yeah, I'll be right there. Okay.
So really, we're the lucky ones. Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Hello, Caroline. Welcome back. How was
you,
your
Royce.
Easter?
It was good. How was yours?
Besides my neighbors looking at me funny when I was hiding the Easter eggs, okay.
Too funny. That's a normal thing to do.
5 a.m. outside.
I bet your kids loved it.
Oh yeah, for sure. What are we talking about this week?
So we're talking about why financial literacy matters.
Oh,
now
it is
more than ever.
Financial Literacy Month, isn't it?
It is.
I like that.
Right. So get ready for some education this week, in this month.
So many people do not know how to handle their finances. So it's very important that you guys pay attention to this, because these blog posts can be more than just informative. They can actually help you save a little bit of money.
We hope so, at least.
Yes.
We hope
okay.
so.
So what are you diving into in financial literacy today?
So today is just kind of a general overall, why is it important? You've got anywhere from banking and budgeting to credit scores and debit and credit cards and investing and trading. And
that's a lot to learn.
A lot of that. All of that falls kind of under financial literacy.
Oh, wow.
So we're not going into all that today.
I'm like, we got 4 minutes. We can talk a whole lot faster.
No, not today. But just so you know, that's kind of, we're going to be hitting on some of those topics throughout this month.
Okay, perfect.
But all of that kind of is encompassed in it, and not just knowing like the definition of what they are, but how to apply them to your life and where you are right now.
Okay.
That's kind of
That
the
makes
important
sense.
part.
Yeah.
Because where you are now, where we are, we're about the same age,
Yeah.
versus where, people our parents' age.
Yeah. Yep. And then the people that are coming behind us that are just getting into.
Right. And our kids.
Yeah.
One of the things we're going to talk about is how to teach it to your kids.
Yeah, because typically no one teaches financial literacy.
Right.
Not even in school.
Not
you
even
would
in
think.
That's something that I've learned.
It's like, math is good, but I think the last time they taught financial literacy was kindergarten when they showed pennies and nickels and dimes.
Yeah,
That-
I know my son did a wants versus needs
yeah.
worksheet
Oh, okay.
at some point, which is kind of a good starting place.
Absolutely.
But here at Arbitrage, we get a lot of questions.
All the time.
A ton of questions. But I kind of narrowed it down to our two questions we get asked the most.
Okay, what are those?
All right. So one of them is, I have not been good in my life about saving and investing. Is it too late to start?
Oh, no. It's
Never.
Never
It is
too late.
never too late to
You
start.
always must start. That's like the most important step. Start.
Right? It's like a saying I've always heard. When was the best time to plant a tree? It was 20 years ago.
Yes.
But when's the next best time?
Today.
So
Absolutely.
It's the same principle. It is never too late to start. And then the second question we get asked a lot is, I really don't have a whole lot of extra money that I can put aside to invest. Is this too small of an amount, or do I need a whole lot of money to start? You don't need a whole lot of money to start, because of compounding interest and compounding returns.
Yes.
You can build upon that. So start with what you can, even if you feel like it's small.
Yeah.
Start with a small amount today.
Yes.
It's better than waiting and not starting at all.
Yep. And you can even ask your employer to separate your pay into 2 separate bank accounts for direct deposit. A lot of people are able to hold on to their money if they don't see it. So having a savings account that it goes to automatically is a neat trick.
Absolutely.
To be able to save.
Or even, I don't know, your bank might be able to do even like a transfer.
Correct. Yeah, you can do it on that side as well.
Can't do it.
Yep.
You could set it up that way. So, how can Arbitrage help with this? Obviously, we're going to be talking about things, but our subscription service kind of lets you, what do we say? Stop watching
and start living. Yep. Just start letting your money grow. And if you guys want your money to grow, first go read our blog about financial literacy on arbitragetrade.com/blog. And we will see you next time. Thank you, Caroline, for joining us.
Thank you. And tune in next week.
I had a pretty normal mom life. Everything was pretty good, and it was a very happy life.
And we just had a new baby. And then all of a sudden, within a day or two, she's on life support and fighting for her life.
They told me my only chance was a heart transplant.
And the American Heart Association helped make that possible. Their research helped save me.
The American Heart Association funds research that leads to medical breakthroughs, trains people in CPR, and certifies hospitals to provide the best care for people who've had a heart attack or stroke.
I am very thankful for the American Heart Association.
One simple act today can save your life or the life of a loved one.
Heart disease is the #1 killer in America. To learn more about how the American Heart Association is saving lives, go to helpheart.org.
Hey, Royce, how you doing? You got any great projects going on at the house right now? Because I kind of feel you do. I mean, you like to do blogs about things that you're experiencing. So,
yes.
Am I right?
I am redoing my bathroom.
That's what it is. Okay.
Yes, and my upstairs, and my stairs, possibly.
So you've had to. You're not doing it by yourself. Is it a DIY?
Oh, no.
I didn't think so. I mean,
No,
you don't have
that's
time
crazy.
for that stuff.
My downstairs I did, though. All the
Nice.
toilets in my downstairs. Yep,
Nice.
did it myself. Demolitioned it all. From kitchen all the way to the
Wow.
garage, to bathroom and everything.
Wow.
But that was a Royce that was, had a 28 to 30-year-old back, as opposed to the current Royce that we're currently facing. I still have that demolition hammer, but I'm not going to put my son on that just yet.
Lots of pictures from it, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Before and afters?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Well, let's talk about befores.
Okay, let's talk about befores.
Let's talk about when you get the contractor and actually just finding one first. What do you do? I mean,
Well, you got to make sure that they have insurance. The first thing is this is your house, so you've invested a lot in your house, so make sure that the contractor has insurance to replace whatever they might break.
can I say licensed and bonded? Or...
Yep, licensed and bonded, and basically the dollar amount they're bonded up to. Because if they're only bonded up to like $10,000, guess what? If they collapse a water heater and it spills out and it's upstairs all the way to the floor, yeah. That's a lot of damage, and $10,000 is just not going to cover that.
Well, on a funny note, we're talking about contracts and contractors.
Yes.
And the thing between those two that's similar is
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of that.
So you got to
too.
be careful about that, right? You got to be careful about cons.
Sure. People who like to con you it's never good. It's never good. Make sure that like there are do's and don'ts. If a contractor says I need more than half of it up front, you pick another contractor. If your contract does not basically spells out exactly what you want, don't do it.
The devil's in the details.
And
Big
don't
time.
don't get in bed with one contractor and let him start one project and then get you to start another one and then get you to start another one, because basically you don't know what they can do on the front end to let alone let them trust them with all the other projects.
I was saying, then you have a case sometimes where two contractors are working in the same area, and then you get into that problem of they might mess this up that they did, and ooh,
yeah.
I don't think I'll be doing
any home improvements anytime.
No.
No.
So you got to make sure that they're financially stable, because there might be a reason if they're not.
Yeah, because basically, just like there are ways to basically not allow people to fully see or disclose if your contractor's worth his salt or her salt, for that matter. She'd be more than willing to say, "Hey, this is what this is. You can buy your materials, or I can buy your materials. This is what labor is costing me per day, and so this is what I'm passing on to you." So most of the time, they will not give you the exact nuts and bolts, but you can basically
it's an estimate.
You can figure out and say, okay, I understand that you are an entrepreneur. You also have to make money, but do not gouge me on pricing when I know that the materials, and a good rule of thumb, this is a good rule of thumb, not saying it always works for everything, but whatever you're spending on materials, you can almost double it. And doubling it should be the total cost it should cost you to do the project. So
labor and everything.
Labor and everything.
Gotcha.
Because how it works is typically, let's say my bathroom, for example, right? If it costs me about, let's say, $5,800 just for the towel, not for the membrane because it's an upstairs, right? Or the thin set for that membrane, or the grout that goes with that. Add that all together, that's just about $6,000. So, good rule of thumb, it should land between 12 and 15 grand.
Gotcha.
And that allows basically
That's
them
good to know.
Yeah, it allows them to pay their labor good between $25 and $50 an hour, and basically an 8-hour day. That's about $400 to $500 a day. And so it should take, with two laborers, about 5 to 6 days to get done, which is typically how long a contractor will be in your area.
Yeah, I like what you said about general contractors. Maybe not so much. You want to go with a specialist that
don't let
they know
them,
what they're working with.
Yes, and if they don't, basically the price might be a little bit higher because they still have to outsource the work to get it done. So that's another thing. If you think the price
a project
is too,
manager almost.
Yeah, if the price is too high, that means there's probably a middleman.
Gotcha. Good. And then the payment agreements should be based off of progress.
Yes.
By a certain time.
And certain things and certain things completed.
Okay. So I like to say the term of on the detail part too, by the way, the line items and timelines.
Yes.
Those are the two biggies I think
Pay attention to the phrasing, pay attention to the paragraphs. Anytime they clump something all together and just give you a big number, that should be a giant red flag.
Well, you said initial too. Like go through and initial certain things
so
that you both can talk about and say, we both agreed on this.
Like, so for example, if the quote comes back $16,000, right? On this fictitious floor, right? And say, well, I don't need you to paint the walls. I can do that. I don't need you to XYZ. I can do that. Right? Or I don't need you to do the demo. I'm great at tearing stuff up. I can do that, right?
Let me do it, please.
And so you say, no, I don't want you to do this, this, and this. And then basically that makes it stay within your budget, and it lets them know what their scope of work is.
Okay. Well, just a couple of things also. You talked about making sure they have warranties.
Yes. Basically, if they will not warranty their work, do not work with them either. Because once again, pride and ownership. You own this piece of property and you want it to last forever.
And then, go ahead.
Yeah. And if they will not negotiate with you, if they do not reply when you ask questions, or they dodge the questions, or they are elusive when it's time to discuss details, that's usually a giant red flag.
Yep. You said also the last thing here was about dispute
resolution.
You need to have to know what that is. You need to be agreed ahead of time on what that's going to look like if you're disputing something.
Yeah, so basically, before you even read what they're going to do, I would honestly go and look at dispute resolution, because if it's not in your favor, if there's anything wrong, that's the first thing that they'll go, well, we're doing it this way. You can't sue me, you can't do this, you can't do that. And basically, it's going to complete when I finish working.
Is that usually the back page, very small print?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, so make sure that they don't pull a fast one on you when all you're trying to do is basically, keep your wife happy or keep yourself happy or, have that bi-directional shower that you've always dreamed of.
Ah, nice. Those keep marriages going?
I think so, yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Things,
with the rain up from top, and then you have the wands.
And then the bidet.
No bidet.
No bidet. Okay.
No bidet.
Right.
That's a little over the top. You can take that back to Dubai.
Actually, it's underneath. Never mind.
Oh, why did we even talk about this?
All right. So, I do have a quote, of course. Here's a quote. In construction, the only project that goes exactly according to plan is the lunch break.
You know what?
Sandra Rodriguez said that.
He's not wrong.
You can always count on that lunch being on time. I don't know about anything else, but that lunch is going to be on time.
It's like nothing goes according to spec. And be careful of upcharges, too.
Ooh, yes.
They're like, this is what this costs, but there's fine print. And then there's this, and then there's this, and there's not that.
I think my dad used to say, down to the last brass tack. So make sure that you account for every single thing that's in that document.
So that way you know.
Don't be lazy. Be lazy on some stuff. Terms of service on your phone, like people are. Flip right through them. But not a contract on something that's on your home. No.
Yeah, that's a much bigger purchase and will have far further reaching pain and suffering.
Yes. Appreciate you giving us your expertise, especially your recent expertise, to bring it in and let us all know about what's going on there. And it was fictitious. All those numbers were fictitious that he was saying. So see you next week, Royce. Thanks for coming by.
Absolutely. I'll be here all week.
Bye-bye. Pay your waiters and servers. All right.
Every family has their challenges, their issues, their baggage. You can't always see it.
I haven't slept in months. I have one that won't sleep and one that won't stay in bed.
We sometimes try to hide it.
My son is so disrespectful. I can't relate to him anymore.
And eventually, it gets out of control.
We know she's vaping, drinking, her grades are slipping. She stays out all night.
But we don't have to face these challenges alone. Visit boystown.org/parenting for valuable guides, downloadable parenting tools, and expert advice. If you need immediate help, call the trained counselors at the Boys Town National Hotline. Whether the baggage is big or small, Boys Town can help lighten the load so you can get back to the things that matter. For any age, any stage, Boys Town.
This week's winner and loser. First, the loser is Verve Therapeutics. That's VERV. It's headquartered in Massachusetts, and it's a clinical stage genetic medicines company that develops gene editing medicines for patients to treat cardiovascular diseases in the U.S. VERV opened at $13.15 Monday, and then the bottom dropped out Tuesday, running the price down to $8 and a penny. This huge drop of 39% was due to their cholesterol-lowering gene editor causing side effects. It pulled a little back to the mid-8. It pulled a little back up to the mid-8s by Friday. And the winner, Candle Therapeutics, that's CADL. It's headquartered in Massachusetts as well. And it is a clinical stage biopharmaceutical company. It engages in development immunotherapy. They engage in the development immunotherapies for the cancer patients. Last Thursday, CADL opened around $2. Yesterday, it had run all the way up to $11.34, and that's over a 460% increase. This was from updated information from its pancreatic cancer study. Visit Arbitrage Trade and learn about Pips, our AI bot, who lets you stop watching and start living. We're not financial advisors. We are not financial advisors, and we provide a service. Thank you for joining us today for another edition of Arbitrage Weekend News. Log into arbitragetrade.com to read our wide variety of blogs and educate yourself on trade assist and forex trading. or even how to make passive money with our Trade Assist Affiliate Marketer program. You can even get to know our cute little AI bot called Pips. Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC is a privately held research company. Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC is solely responsible for the preparation and distribution of the contents of this podcast. The opinions offered in this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to function as investment advice. Seek a duly licensed professional for investment advice. For more information about the informational research and services offered by Arbitrage Trade Analytics LLC, please visit arbitragetrade.com.